There's a big financial incentive for you, but tens of thousands of dollars every year. That's not enough to change your mind?
No, definitely not. No, we're not in it for the money like that. And we've got to remember it's only compensation for what they're taking away from us. So
Yeah.
no, definitely not. And it'll be there for years to come. And the compensation that cuts out after 25 years or 25 years. So no, it's certainly not worth it. Definitely not in our opinion.
Now, we know what they look like. We know you don't want the look of that through your property, but how else does it affect your farming? Because I believe you can't put any infrastructure, even fencing, underneath it. You'd have to be very worried at times with some of the mechanical equipment you use with harvesters and whatever, touching anything in the lines above, that'd be a bit of a hazard. Are there any practical problems with the transmission lines?
Yeah, oh, definitely. Just using machinery around it is going to be a huge issue. Restrictions. So as far as machinery, being bigger, the harvesters we use, we're sort of looking at harvesters 5 metres plus, and they say there are height restrictions at 5 metres. So we have to get permits basically for any machinery we use, and it's only just getting bigger. So not only that, but then like last year when it was really wet, we had to utilise planes to spray fungicide over paddocks, and we just couldn't do that. That just couldn't happen at all. So there's just going to be huge implications, and that'll cost us. That will really cost us at the end of the day.
It's quite incredible, isn't it? This is your land. You own this land freehold. It's your property, yet they're going to force this on you. You have no right really to say no.
No, well, that's what the Victorian government's done. So Lily D'Ambrosio's passed laws that basically say, well, get over it. We're putting this through whether you like it or not. So, and we're not going to stand for that. That's essentially why we went to Melbourne. We said, well, you can't go and do this. We have rights. We stop treating us like the lowest denominator. We feed the nation, clothe the nation. So, show a little bit of respect and, look into the options.
Yeah, the options, because all this stuff could be put underground, but of course that'd be much more expensive. They don't seem to care about how expensive they make our electricity with all this renewables. I've been around Stawell and that part of Western Victoria a bit lately, and there are massive amounts of wind turbines and wind farms going in there. Presumably this transmission line is to shunt that sort of stuff across the border.
That's what it'll do. It'll just sort of add that to our property as well. They push these lines through. Well, they're naturally going to say, right, well, let's just whack into all these wind turbines as well. So it just completely destroys what we do. We grow sheep and crops. We don't farm energy. That's not what we do, and that's what we don't want to do at all. So and just the added risk to our land as well. Fires are a huge issue for us. I've been in the CFA for 15 years now. I'm very aware of the fact that we need to get onto fires quickly. We can't fight fires underneath these power lines. So there's a huge issue. We've got to let it pop out the other side. And then at that point, it's just well and truly gone. So huge issues we just don't think it's worth the risk.
Yeah, I really feel for you, and good luck with your fight, and congratulations on making a bit of noise about it. But you must understand too that yours is one big fight, but there are fights like this now all around the nation with wind turbines being put into some areas where people don't want them, clearing bush and the like. Other people worried about offshore wind going off their fishing grounds and the like. I mean, this renewables, and there's supposed to be 10,000 kilometres or more of transmission lines put in across the country. The sort of battle you're having now is just unfolding now right across the country. It's going to be a shambles.
Of course it is. No, I couldn't agree more. And quite a few of us went to Canberra earlier in the year too. We went up there to try and ask for a Senate inquiry, which they've now named a Transmission Tuesday every time they sit up there to try and just get a Senate inquiry and look into it as well. Look into it. So this is not just about us here in Victoria, but right across the eastern seaboard. We need to look at this properly and get it done properly. Because it is having a huge effect, and there will be another protest, as far as I understand, in Brisbane next week, I believe.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, Jason. I really appreciate it.
Good on you, Chris. Thank you.
Jason Barratt there, a farmer from Grey North, up there north of the Grampians in Western Victoria. Your own property, and they just want to whack this stuff across it. You don't have a say in it. Quite extraordinary. As I say, this is a big issue for this country, and this is what we would save ourselves if we went to nuclear energy in those areas where there's already old generation sites and where all the transmission lines are already in place.